Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 97th episode of Concerned Dads Podcast. I'm your host, Katie M. Kane. Our guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is a legendary DJ in the Northwest region. He is from the Nez Perce Reservation. He is out of Hood River, Oregon right now, hoping some places will open up so I could go see him live. He is the man at live remixes. He has done a few mixtapes. He is from the Res, man. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Sub in the building tonight. DJ Sub, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, man?
What's up, dude? Man, I'm super excited for this one, man. I'm like, yeah, finally get him on the show.
97.
Yeah, episode 97, that bad boy 97 shit, bro. You know what I mean? That's what I asked you. I was like, man, you got to do 97, bro. I'm like, that was the year you like on fire. You know what I mean? I think that was the year you
Oh, man.
didn't you and DJT put out that best of both worlds mixtape like that year, like 97?
Yeah, I think he says that, but I think it was like earlier because I thought, I don't know. I always thought 95 and like 96 were like really cool years because that's when we did a place called the Pub and then the Warehouse. And those were like basically unknown. And then it just blew up from there because I started with Vet Whitman, and then there was the Pope, I can't remember which Pope it was. But those things just popped off, and then that's just that after hours seeing all that stuff. So those were funner than the popular years. Those were categorized as that.
Ah, no doubt. So more enjoyable for you during those years because you got to do underground shit and then like
No, the pub was a new bar. I'm not sure what it is called now. If it's called this place the Pals or something like that. It's in Lewiston,
okay,
and
I've seen a flyer or two of that place, I think, online, but I don't know if
yeah,
I've been there before.
no, I went in there. Someone told me like you should do like a New Year's Eve there. So go down and check it out. And so I found out where it was, and it was like shit, man. This is one of the first bars. It's like
That's cool,
this is
man.
20. Yeah, this is 26 years ago, and you want me to walk back into this bar, and it was immediately like, sorry, Mrs. Immediately like, no, I don't want to do this because I'm too fucking old to pack my shit down a flight of stairs.
No
And
doubt.
I'm just not interested in that. It's not like the old days when you got all the energy to basically tear down your entire bedroom and then reset it up and
Yeah.
then tear it back down and then
Fuck,
go
dude.
home and reset it up and
Yeah.
practice even after the gig. So like, yeah,
Dude.
those days are gone. So
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too, man. Because TJ at Beers, Bongs, and Bullshit podcast, if you're ever in Spokane on a Friday night, you got to come through and hang out. But I still get like that because he has to set up 4 or 5 mics, and then we
uh-huh.
set up a camera and we run everything through with the iRig and shit. And I'm always ready to tear.
Yeah.
I'm ready to tear down as soon as we're done. I'm like, okay, man. And he's like, oh, I was gonna do something tomorrow, man. We can leave it out. I'm like, okay, man. I was like, DJ habits, man. You know what I mean? Like, but it's your whole
Yeah.
fucking bedroom most times, man. Like,
It's it ain't only got worse the more music you pack and the more different things you use, if it's CDs and vinyl or what have you. And so yeah, it got to a point where you try to simplify stuff, but as is good and bad. But yeah,
yeah,
I went to that place and I was like, and I told that guy about that, and he was like, really? It's like, yeah. And he was a little skeptical about stuff. And I go, well, I just got through doing the Hell's opening and closing for Hell's Bells and stuff like that. I was, oh, really, really? And he's all, but I never called back. I was kind of glad because I wasn't interested in doing it, but I got, I don't know, just it worked out for the best that it didn't happen. So it was
yeah, man.
something I was interested in.
No doubt.
That was
And that's a good way to look at it too, man. Because you can't do everything. You know what I mean?
no,
You got to
no,
say
stop.
you got to say no to some stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been saying no for I think I talked to you before, and then I started thinking, I was like, shit, I've been saying no for like 12 or 15 years, you know,
Yeah,
but
I remember,
I
man,
think,
bro. I got you that job at Club Sin Rock, and you stuck around for like a week, and then it was like, man, this is killing my DJ soul. I'm sorry, cuz I gotta quit that gig, man. I was like, fuck, I could dig it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
no,
But
oh yeah,
I felt bad, but my boss was like, nah, it's cool. He goes, that guy, it's, he's more of an artist, and he goes, you got more, you're more of just a press play guy. And I'm like, well, thanks, boss. But yeah, I am kind of more of a, he's a mixologist. I am kind of a play cuts type of fucking dude. But
yeah, I think I'm always in at that spot because they recognize me from time to time. I go in there, and then one or the other, the old guy or his wife will
yeah,
recognize me, and his wife is the one that liked me because she liked all the old '70s rock I was playing, the '80s stuff, and so
yeah, yeah,
she got that vibe.
yeah,
Yeah, she was
man.
nice.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter what the girls complain around or whatever. Just play, just created a vibe, a daytime vibe. So because that's what it was, and so that's all you got to do. People
Yeah,
don't always. They just rather drink and sit there and bullshit as opposed to participate. So
yeah, no doubt. And that, man, fuck, dude. Yeah, I agree. It's not just the DJ soul that gets crushed. It's just arguing with people over shit that doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? I want to fucking dance the coochie man. And it's like, fuck.
no, it wasn't that at all. It's that they weren't responding. They weren't willing to reimagine a song with their body image. They just wanted to
Uh,
they just thought that they had to just dance and shake their ass and take their clothes off, and then it didn't matter what song. But they didn't get that part because it does.
yeah, it's
And I only
performance.
talk yeah, and I only say that stuff because that's what was told to me by other dancers. Other girls would say this is what I do, and to this day there are certain songs by Space Hog or Corn or just some random 80s thing that just that that's like, wow, I don't think of that group. I think of that girl because of how she danced.
Yeah,
And
hell,
a lot of times the girl wasn't a particularly voluptuous girl. She was a skinny girl, but
yeah.
her curves were like, damn. And that girl
Move.
had,
Know how to move,
yeah,
man.
and that was a lesson there. Like, you can't just sit there and assume that the hottest girl in the house is gonna rack in all the cash. She wasn't going to rack in all the cash.
No
It's the
doubt.
girl that uses everything she's got,
Yeah.
and before you know it, that girl's kicking you 30 bucks, 40
Yeah.
bucks,
Yeah.
because
Man, those kind of coworkers are the best too, dude. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
Then it's like,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Then if
it,
if a girl ever got a folder in the Serato, is like she was a cool girl. You know what I mean?
well, yeah, and there just wasn't any girl. I just asked them what they didn't want to hear, just trying to whittle them down into something that would they could vibe to. That even though it was dead and it sucked, at least you're hearing some shit that you want to hear.
Yeah.
That gets your vibe. So that was, and that's what ultimately what it was. And even trying to help another club downtown, those girls too. Is just they're just this generation of girls is just they're not into designing themselves. They're not displaying their own package. They're just, oh,
Right.
this is what you get. Make the best of it. You
Yeah.
know,
No doubt.
and so it's yeah, it's not cool because kind of takes away from equal balance that those things should have because it's a team effort to wrangle cash out of suckers.
Yeah. It
It's
is.
hard to do it. It's
Yeah.
hard to do by yourself.
It's
You
it
need help.
fucking A, man. It's tough to pep talk too sometimes, man, when people are fucking discouraged and it's like, man, what if a fucking millionaire walks through that door right now? What are you gonna fucking do? You gonna continue moping around and you get after it?
Yeah, it's just hard to deal with those situations where they don't understand, and then when you try to tell them, they don't know you. Who the fuck are you to say stuff you don't
Yeah,
know? But they don't
yeah,
know your history, you know.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, give it the old try. And those
Yeah.
guys are cool because I've always been cool with them ever since. And
Yeah.
after they recognize me, then they're pretty cool with me. So
Yeah, man. I like that place. I still like to go to that place too. And if that
I
Tim
was
guy,
just,
that Tim guy, the tall dude, like if he's in there, like he always says hi. And they got their
oh,
VIP room done. Like the last time I was there, he's like, "You gotta come see the VIP, John." He's like, "It's all finished," because it was under construction for a while, and it looked nice, man. He was proud of it.
I was,
Good
yeah,
for
we
you,
were
dude.
just there. And what was it there about a few weeks ago? And um, yeah, we were just there, and it was still. They kept trying to do to all the COVID. Oh, you got to sit there and put your mask on, and I was like, oh yeah, 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 and I was, sprinkling a little love out there, and people just it's just kind of weird, but
Yeah,
we met a newbie on there. Clearly, she didn't want to be out there, but she's at that point.
yeah,
So
yeah. Hell yeah.
you know,
Got encouraging
so
words, man. There's a couple dollar bills, girl. You know what I mean? Like, way to go.
no, yeah, went in there. You know, oh, they have crazy rules in there. They're only allowed because of the COVID. They're only allowed like 2 or 3 drinks. You can't imagine being a dancer for 6 or 8 hours and that's all they get. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So
No
yeah,
doubt.
it was pretty funny. We
Fuck
were trying
yeah.
to sneak. We were trying to sneak. Because they're me and Tim were there and doing our thing and
Yeah.
doing our best to get the whole crew buzzed up, but they just
Hell
wouldn't
yeah.
let us. So only we got to have fun.
Word. Okay, so I got a question. I'm just freestyling it, dude. I didn't write any shit down, but I guess my question is like, what inspired you to want to start DJing, man? And then when did you go, and what was like the first piece of equipment you got, and how old were you, and like where did you buy it? Like in Portland, Platinum Records or something? Like, can you tell me that story? The origination.
Uh, oh shoot, I think I'm one of those kids that was raised, babysat by his aunties and uncles. Only back in ye old days or my days,
Yeah.
you didn't have to, I don't know, have be a necessarily good babysitter. You could take the kid you're supposed to babysit with you while you're partying and bullshitting on the
Yep.
back roads. And so uh, they don't want to acknowledge that I was on those. Little old me was in the rear window sleeping while they were partying, but I'm back there listening to rock music and all that stuff. So the music came because I was in an element where he probably shouldn't have been. It's probably not as much as I might make it out to be, but it doesn't
Nah.
take much to influence, a little impressionable kid.
Goddamn
And
right. Yeah, man.
and so yeah, so because to this day there are some rock and soul and stuff that I have no idea how I know the lyrics, but for some reason I know the lyrics to some Steely Dan or some old Marvin Gaye or some stuff like that, or or Cool in the Gang or stuff like that. And like, hey, how do you like that stuff? Or why? Because I got a I got an asshole uncle that should have kept stayed home instead. We went out and cruised around. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But the DJ part of it, I had it in one of my bios that I knew I was a DJ when my uncles, I think it was always my uncles that would take little compilations I'd make myself. They weren't mixed or anything. They were just layered songs. They were like Houdini and Cool in the Gang bar days and stuff like that. And they would just always end up missing, you know. And the worst part of it is that cassette tapes weren't prevalent back then, as far as Memorex and TDK and stuff like that. So you kind of had to cover the tabs with tape and record over another tape.
Yeah.
So sometimes you ruined music to record music because you got tired of packing around because you don't want to be packing around a bunch of cassette tapes in your Walkman and stuff
Nah.
like that. So
Yeah.
that was a problem even way back when, to have all your music with you. So
Yeah.
I started doing that, and then they would disappear, and I'd get mad. But you're just a little kid. You can't be get mad at your family for stealing stuff.
Uh,
And so
fuck,
I
that's my
just
sweatshirt. That's my sweatshirt. It's like, fuck,
yeah,
whatever.
stuff like that.
Chalk it up, man. Chalk it up, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was the whole thing. That's how that kind of started. And so then I start tinkering around from there. And then my family commercial fishes on the Columbia River in Rufus, Oregon, and we have access to Portland. So Portland back in the day uh, had a thing called cassette singles, maxi singles, CD singles started coming out.
Yeah.
Uh, I had a record player for a while, and I had records, but my records somehow got put into a shed and they got melted
Oh,
because they
bummer,
thought,
man. Oh.
yeah, because they thought that my records would be okay, even though they were in the shade, and the heat would melt them into one gigantic plastic record. So uh,
Fuck.
it is all right. I only I had a crazy collection when I started out. It was I probably had about maybe 30 records, and but it was everything back then. We didn't have hip hop. Hip hop wasn't everything. So
Yeah.
you had Bon Jovi and Ready for the World and Madonna, and Purple Rain and all these things like that. You had that in your collection, and it was just what it was, because that's how it was. If you like Thriller and you liked all that stuff, guaranteed that someone my age also like Who's That Girl from Madonna or Borderline or stuff like that, because that was what music was back then. It wasn't predominantly hip hop.
No,
So
no doubt.
that was my record collection did disappear like that. So it's all right. It worked out. And I just went to CDs and cassettes, and because we had access to Portland, was able to get music so quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas, because back those days, music had 6 months this to get out to the public. So if it
Yeah.
was, in the fall of 1988, generally people didn't get it until 1989 in Lapway,
Yeah,
or
dude.
or
See
they
that?
only heard it on the radio.
Yeah, man.
And so
I got to my parents moved us to Portland second, third, and half of fourth grade, and that was like 88, 89, 90. And then
yeah.
in the middle, and dude, for those 3 years, that was the funnest shit my dad ever did with me, was take me to Tower Records and give me $5 and just let me chill for an hour. And I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
was meeting Jack or somebody to go and maybe
Do their
smoke, or
thing.
yeah, do a party around or whatever. But I'd have an hour in Tower Records with $5, so I could get 2 cassette singles for $2 a piece and get a fucking icy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was, bro, for 3 years. That was like my pop. If you want to go to Tower Records, fuck yeah. And then it's like when
Yeah.
I moved back to Lapway, bro, it's
Those days
just
are
like you're
gone.
talking about, bro. Like,
Yeah. You didn't
and
get it.
yeah, and it took him like a year or two, I think, to get a job back in Lewiston. I think he ended up working at LCSC. But during those years when he was still in Portland, when he'd come back and visit, he'd bring me tapes. And that was just like,
Oh yeah.
because he knew, just like you're talking about, he's like, I know they don't have this shit out there. I mean,
No.
you know,
And if you're lucky to even hear it on the radio or in Lapway or
yeah,
Lewiston. So, it is what it is. But from that, having all that music earlier from everybody, me and my cousin James, aka Hugs, uh, we both started out wanting to do that. He wanted to DJ too. In fact,
oh shit,
uh,
DJ
yeah,
Hugs, bro, shit, that would
yeah.
have been tight. He should fucking try it again, man.
Hugs got a gig first. Hugs got the gig first before me,
No
and
shit.
uh, but Hugs fucked it up because he fell in love with Sonya. So that's how that
Ah.
goes. So Sonya destroyed a career that he could have destroyed. But
Damn it,
yeah,
Sonya.
yeah. So that was, yeah, that was. that was pretty. That was a Pennywise dance. I think that he got that, and so like, and I was already into that stuff, and I was like, good. And then I knew he played the same stuff that we both did. You know, we both have similar tastes as far as the music back then. So what he was playing back then was still on point.
That's cool.
So, but yeah, he fell in love, and then that was it. He didn't hear from him. It was after that. It was all me whenever I could get it, and was that's when I started making mixtapes, actual mixes, trying to mix. I had to do it without a mixer for at least a couple of years,
Dude,
and
so did I.
levels.
Yeah, I had a Pioneer receiver that had fucking the tape monitor button that you could press to switch between tape one and tape two. And
Yeah.
so I plugged two CD players into the tape inputs, and then I would just fade it down, press the button, fade it back up.
So you had some fancy stuff. I had to use the little mic in front of the cassette to record stuff.
Ah,
That
fuck,
was even
dude.
hard. Yeah, that was even harder. So it was tough to make stuff, and tempos weren't. I'm pretty sure Yvette's got one of my awful attempts at mixing back to life and stuff like that, because I had the acapella back then, and that was like one of my first acapellas that I ever got. Like, shit, I need to do something with this.
Yeah.
And then yeah, but like as far as the DJ and stuff, my first gig was the cheerleader dance, and I think I was in the eighth grade. I think, yeah, I was in eighth grade, and that was my first gig. I think I got like $25,
Hell yeah,
and
dude. See that,
and
man. See, fuck, that's tight. Putting
yeah,
a
so
date on it too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
man.
yeah, I remember that. I remember that because I had to one up James and his Pennywise thing. So no one knows that. I was competitive enough that like, now I got to get a bigger gig than this. And then back then they did know that we had all these songs, because we had all the Bobby Browns and the New Editions and Rod Neo, and the big hit at the time was Levert. Casanova just came out, and
Ah,
so and we had it just before everybody else did, and after, no, it wasn't Casanova, it was just Cool It.
uh,
And so everyone, whoa, and then we had it like at least a month before everyone else, and everybody was like, trying to borrow it and trying to steal it and all this
yeah.
stuff like that, and trying
Yeah.
to get a dub, all these things. And so that was, people knew that for the time being, because things were starting to catch up. Spokane was closer, and they were starting to get music, so the time was starting to shorten. It wasn't it wasn't like those first few years between 85 and 88 where it was a 6 month,
Yeah.
separation. It did start to just start getting quicker and quicker. And there were a lot of times people had stuff before me. And it's just like now, these days, people have stuff I didn't even heard. And then you hear it now. Oh, this came out in 2012, and I'm just now hearing it.
Yeah.
That's the internet. So it's kind of getting back to what it used to be, a little tiny bit. A small
Yeah.
percent.
Yeah, guys can that's what I'm always impressed with when even if it's not a DJ, bro, if I'm in someone's fucking car and they play a song that I haven't heard and it's dope, I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, can we turn this up? Who is this? You know what I mean? Like, fuck,
yeah,
yeah, man, this is tight. And they're like, this came
yeah,
out like 10 years ago, John. I'm like, fuck,
yeah,
really?
yeah. And the self-conscious DJ in me gets a little embarrassed, but after I've seen other older DJs go through it, and then just a lot of DJs that are big or blown up, and they're like, oh, fuck it. When you hear stuff, it's dope. It's make it dope again. And so
Y-
that's generally what happens. So
Yeah,
I
hell
I,
yeah.
I let that, yeah, I let that go a while ago. That embarrassment of, oh, or the stigma that DJs are always supposed to know everything before
Yeah,
everybody else, and that's just not true. So
yeah. And
that,
I agree, man. Like I sold my controller in the fall to Guitar Center for like $300 because I needed the loot. And I just
yeah,
it was a tough decision to make, but I was kind of feeling that way too. Like, man, I don't even everybody always requests shit that I don't want to play. It's like when I download it and listen to it, it's like, man, I'd rather play something different. but it
Yeah.
just I don't know, man. Like I try to focus more on my broadcasting and creating music and film
No,
stuff. So I just I'm putting my money more towards that than DJing now. But it is, dude. Like I still I
I bet it was
enjoy
liberating.
it was, bro. It's like I don't have
Yeah.
this chore anymore. You know what
You
I
don't have
mean?
that chore. I know.
Yeah.
I just, when I was in Portland a few weeks ago, and I just talked to Jeff at Platinum, and we're both saying it, two old DJs, and we're sitting there going through new music, and we both said the same thing. Why the fuck am I doing this? Not like we're got gigs. We're
Yeah.
sitting there
That
prepping up music
that
for no fucking
man,
reason.
and that was why too, dude. I was shopping for a new one, man. I wanted that Serato one with the motorized platters and shit. I was looking at that last summer, and then
Oh yeah,
I'm like, wait, what? Why? You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's
there you
like,
go.
yeah, I don't know.
And it,
C-
yeah, it'll come back.
Yeah,
You'll
it
go
will.
back to it,
I'm
and
gonna get that fucker when it drops to $1,000. It's like 1,500 right now. So
yeah,
I'll find a
because
deal. You know what I mean?
that's music. That's like a record. It's around and around, and eventually it's going to come back to where you want to start again. So
No
it
doubt.
it's yeah. So as far as that, after that first gig and all that stuff, and then go through the whole high school thing, and did a few gigs during that, mostly just proms and stuff like that, and that was pretty much it. I didn't do every one of them. I don't think I was ever after that type of thing. I just wanted to be able to do them,
Yeah.
because even back then I was starting to want to tinker with stuff. Like even I remember, because it only seems like I talk to you and then I start thinking about old shit that I did. It's like, when the fuck did I first do something like that?
Dude,
So
yeah, yeah.
like the
Talk
the
about
first
that, cause man, it is like when I talk to you on the horn, it's like fuck yeah, I'm getting like Jedi
but
knowledge and shit from my big cuz. You
but
know what I mean? But
like,
to share some of it on the podcast too, please. You know what I mean?
well, I mean, like, I remember thinking about the first gig, and I remember thinking uh about the first time I mashed up something, like my very first mashup. And
For folks that don't know, if you ever see this guy DJ live in the club, he's gonna do a bunch of live remixes like on the spot with acapellas and play the beat live and fucking you can try your ass off to try and Shazam it. It's not gonna fucking pop up because it's not even made it right then and there. So my
oh, I
bad.
didn't even know what that I didn't even know what that was when that first started coming out, and these fuckers were running their phones up to me, and I thought they were filming me, and they were, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, he showed me. I was like, now where did you get that? Because I was remixing Sir Mix-a-Lot. And so
Yeah.
I, it was a dub version and the regular version, and then the guy was getting upset because I was switching it, and so he was just, I just said, dude, I'm just doing this live, so that's the reason you can't. Yeah. Or no, I know that might be the reason why you can't, because I was going between two versions,
Yeah.
and it just sounded, it was a really simple mix, and it was like, wow, no one's doing it. Somebody should be doing it. So, but the
Yeah.
first time I made one, and I remember I recorded it, and they never said that they didn't like it. They never said anything bad about it. So I gave it to I think James and my brother, and I think Doll and Luther, Lexio,
Okay.
and it was it was the instrumental to Tie the Knot, and acapella to Your Love Part Two from Keith Sweat, and
Word.
I put those together, and I just like the way they sounded. And then I put other songs on there too, but I snuck that in there, and I didn't tell them about it. I just gave them, they just wanted a mixtape, so
Yeah.
I put all these songs on there, and they were like, hell yeah, rock, because they just got a new mixtape, and I snuck that one in on there, and so it was like, I never got a response from it, but I also remember not bugging out about it because I didn't get any objection to it.
Yeah.
So, and then I was sneaking out there from time to time. I never did it since then, and I never wanted to do it either. But it was the first time that I did something like that and then just stuck it in. Other times it was just occasionally when you could get um, uh, acapellas because that was hard, especially if
Yeah,
you weren't on vinyl. And I wasn't on vinyl at the beginning for
yeah.
80% of it. So it's like it was harder,
Yeah, man.
And
Like Shopko sometimes would have maxi singles with intros and acapellas, you know what I mean? And homies would
yeah.
be like, "Why the fuck are we going to Shopko?" I'd be like, "We're gonna go see what singles they got, man." And I would buy it just because it had an instrumental on there because I was trying to do rap shit back then, you know what I mean? And I didn't have any beats, so it was like I fucking need these shits, man. I don't care what the song says. As long as I can get the instrumental, it's all good. Sorry,
Well,
sorry
yeah.
for interrupting, man.
Oh, that's okay.
But that
Because
that's one thing you did too was CDs. I remember you had like the rack mount shit, and I'd never seen
oh yeah.
I'd never seen anything like that before, dude. So I was like impressed when I was in high school. Like, fuck, that's tight.
Oh, I remember what was one gig that I totally had remixes and I had actually done something was I think just because I saw her page and I saw her show it and flashback pick was Denise Guillory. And I
Okay.
remember doing something for their class and I remember I did their gig and they were kind of, it wasn't the best gig because the complaint was, well, you kept playing the remix and you kept playing the regular song, and we couldn't tell, and you were messing up everyone's dance flow, and I was just,
We're waiting for the fucking drop, god damn it.
yeah,
Like, fuck.
yeah, and so like, and I remember doing that, and it was all the Black Street stuff, and it was all this stuff like that, and so because I did have access to remix versions like Funky Mix and Mix It and stuff like that. The early mix remixers and stuff like that. But I didn't always like to rely on them. I like to go between the regular ones and back and forth. And so that's kind of that starts. I start figuring out how to switch and start figuring out where the breaks were and bridges and stuff like that. And this would sound better if you flip to this at this point.
Yeah.
This is also back in the day when you could play a 4.5 minute song.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't do that now. You can't do that at
Yeah,
all.
at all. That's how I grew up
No,
too, man. That's why I was a press play DJ, and I didn't have a mixer either, so I'd have to fade it down, push the buttons, fade it back up.
no, and
You know what I mean? Like,
I also did that most of that without a pitch. So most of my
damn.
stuff was, yeah. So I probably was a better sounding mixer back then than I have been once I got pitch and once I got faders and all this stuff like that because it was a chore back then to mix.
Hell yeah.
Especially like I think I told you about Nightlights where the teen club Nightlights you had record player cassettes and you had videotape and you had CD videos. So you had all these elements that you had at, at your at your hands, but you had to queue them up. You ever queue up a VHS tape to get it prepped for a song
Yeah,
for
dude,
a video?
that sounds hard as shit, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, that's where that taught me how to plan ahead.
Yeah,
So that's when I figured out how to mix and think about 5 to 10 songs ahead of the entire night. And then just that's when you start creating a ride for people.
yeah,
You're taking them through all these types of emotions. Back then it was MC Hammer and Madonna and Bat Dance and stuff like that. And so you had to kind of weave your way. And so that stuff came about. And so that had to create a funky medium. And so planning became a paramount to doing that because it was hard. It was hard to, but again, what saved it is because you're able to play 4 minute songs because
yeah. You got time to go
it
and
would
search and
never,
you know what I mean? And then
no,
fast forward. Oh fuck, man, it's not on that song. Fuck, I gotta fast forward. Oh shit.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it was crazy. That dog won't leave me alone.
Oh yeah, hell
But
yeah.
yeah, so that yeah, that was the thing I took from Nightlights, and I only got a DJ there an actual handful of times, and one of them was like an hour maybe at one of the big rap concerts. I don't think it was. I want to say it was Mix a Lot, but because I wasn't advertised, the DJ did something. Hey, can you fill in? I got to go take care of some bullshit. So here I am, up there, because I'm always up there. I was always fucking wanting to be up there.
Yeah, hell
So
yeah.
and so I got in, and biggest night of their year, and I'm doing a free gig, and fuck, I hung in there, and it all worked out.
Hell yeah,
That
dude.
I think it was because I think it was Mix a Lot on the Seminars album.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and I think that is my favorite Mix a Lot. I think that one because that's I got Game and Beepers
Word.
and
That's before
Poopy.
Swas.
Yeah. No,
Damn.
no, no. Swas and Rippin' and Posse on Broadway. I think that's his first one.
Oh, okay.
And then Seminars came out, and then
Oh,
uh
okay.
yeah, I like the first one, but like there's a lot better remixes that came with Seminar, and that was also during Kid Sensation and that sort of thing. So it just was. And then right after that he blew up. So you thought, damn, we got Mix a Lot right here in Seattle. He but 6 hours from us,
Yeah, hell
and
yeah.
that's some cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
But
And he did, man. He sold a lot of fucking records, dude. A lot.
all right, guys, that is the first guy I ever knew that learned about had he owns everything.
Yeah.
Everything. You can't even say one of his songs, he gets a piece of it.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know, saying it now might get you in trouble because his people will say, hey, you said it, we need 10 cents, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, per
And
copy.
that's hella cool. He owns all his rights, he owns all his master, whatever, all those things, he
Yeah.
owns it all. And that
Yeah.
was pretty cool. He was just talking about that with I think Rick Rubin. And that was, man, that was an enlightening uh podcast that
Hell
to
yeah.
hear that,
No doubt.
so like, but yeah, that was crazy. Someone saw me. I remember a bro that just passed away, Jambo. He saw me up there, not during that one, but another time. He goes, "Was that you this whole time up there?" And I go, "Yeah." And it's like, you sucker. He was all like cheesing around and like just bugged out because here I am up there, and it's me that has this place all packed, and everybody's dancing
Yeah,
an
man.
entire 4 or 5 hours of dancing.
Yeah, hell yeah,
So
bro.
yeah, that was kind of cool. I remember that, especially given recent times and stuff like that. So
Yeah, man. I
pretty
always
cool.
tell folks that too, man, that and like he's got a mix cloud. He didn't put out a bunch of mixtapes, but if you see his name on the fucking flyer, then go to that function, man, because it's gonna crack. You know what I mean? He's gonna play some dope music, and it's gonna be what you want. You know what I mean? And even if it's not music that you were expecting to hear, it's gonna be a good time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I was always the asshole. Especially after I moved out of Lapway, that started experimenting and playing stuff that because that's what you're supposed to do, play stuff that you need to hear, that you're going to hear anyway. So trust me, it's going to work out. But yeah, there's been more than a few times I pissed off a lot of people of not playing the song that they wanted to hear at that particular moment, because I
Yeah,
felt that it was important that they hear this song first. So and I'll
yeah,
play your whack ass song later, but
yeah.
you know that was, and I took that attitude home too. So I know I pissed off more than a few people from Lapway and Pendleton and places like that, from trying to make them listen to stuff that they weren't accustomed to me playing. They
Yeah,
expected to hear a certain type of mixes or certain type of set,
yeah,
and I just wasn't at that. I just wasn't at that level anymore. I was expanding, so
Yeah,
You
I
know.
I remember you talking to me about that one time too. Like man, everybody just wants me to play fucking Puff Daddy and Gap Band and shit, and like
Yeah.
it's like fuck, God, man, I'm into other stuff besides that. And like when I moved to Portland, uh, I stayed with RPM the first 6 months. I remember you came through for one of those recording sessions. I think it was with Brandy. We were
Hmm.
recording a chorus. But when I moved in with Jackson, it was like he had like a stack of CDs or something on the CD player in the living room, and one of them, I'm pretty sure it was a mix. It was you, and it didn't say your name. It just said Subterfuge on it, and it was
Oh
like,
yeah.
and dude, when I fucking listened to that shit after work, like the first 3 months I lived with that dude, man. And when he'd come
Mhm.
home, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's Sub." I'm like, "Fuck, dude, I wasn't accustomed to you playing shit like that, and it was just a CD that was left at the crib. You know what I mean?" And I was
Oh,
like,
I always
"Damn!"
did that.
I was like, "This is tight." You know what I mean? I was impressed, and I don't know. It made me want to soak up more knowledge and shit. Like, man, I gotta hang out with that because I was on my rock and roll shit too, and there's a bunch of Nirvana and all kinds of cool shit on there, bro.
I know. I did that shit. Oh, okay. I think I thought I made two subterfuges. I didn't think you could say that word correctly, but the original one, the original one was a demo, and the demo I was told to make a trance and what is now known as EDM. I was told to make a mix for that. Was for this club in Salem called Moonbakers, and because that's what they wanted.
Yeah,
And so people were digging my sets back then
yeah,
because that's when I back then I just learned to play that stuff, and so I had to learn how to do that style of music, and I did that in about 9 months, figured out what I liked, and how I wanted to make it sound and all this stuff like that, and people were always bugged out by that because you've never heard this stuff, and I go, the only time I ever heard this stuff was when you got a UK version on a rap song, like Salt and Pepper
yeah,
or LL Cool J. And so that's the only time you heard house music,
yeah,
where I'm from. And so it's like really, so that's when you start playing trance. And this is all the uh, uh I'm Blue and um Alice DJ and all this those that 2001 type of stuff. And so I make this mix, only it's not what they expected. It was all this kind of super housed up, sampled, full of samples, full of all kinds of stuff. And so and needless to say, I thought it was some dope stuff. And the former manager that I used to have, he liked it and he was hyped on it. It got me another gig, but it didn't give me the Moonbakers gig because soon after I was told that, they went to hip hop, and so they would just hire 95 DJs. And so I was bugged out by that. I think OG1 ended up getting the gig, so it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, then I made Subterfuge, not in the same vein, but I made it on loops. A lot of that mix is made off of loops. It
yeah,
wasn't made from anybody else's stuff. They were just loops and build ups and little tiny minute and a half songs that I like. And so I just took them and smashed them all together, and it just worked out. And it's probably the fastest mix I ever did like that because I did that in one take in 2 hours and just blasted that shit through, and I just left it. Left whatever whatever fuck ups are in there, I leave it in there,
yeah.
and boom, that's Subterfuge. And
Yeah, I couldn't hear it. Like, bro, I was like, "Fuck, this is
oh,
tight."
that's the thing, it's like, damn, this shit
Cause
kind of came out,
yeah,
I just
cause
left
it
it
could,
alone.
cause it is, dude. Like when I moved out there, it was, man, I was DJing that. It was a New Year's gig, and that fucking spot was closing the next day. So we were smoking weed in there and shit. Jackson threw the party, and there was a live band, and I was DJing. I remember you showed up, and we were all
Oh,
like,
I
"No
remember
way, he came!" Like that. And you were
that.
like, "What the fuck? You guys are smoking in here?" Like, man, they're closing tomorrow. Don't matter. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
Like
remember that spot. That was like a pizza spot.
it was like I can't remember the name of it, but
Oh,
Justin hooked up that spot and he hooked up the band. And when I met the band, those guys ended up being my band for like a year and a half, and we'd link up 3 times a month and practice. But I was really trying my best to study rock and roll shit, man, and learn that too on how to write those type of songs and hang out with those dudes and soak up as much as I could. And so when I heard that
yeah.
mix, when I would jam that mixtape again, bro, after I linked up with those guys, because it was like I was kind of going through the same process of, yeah, you're into this shit, but now you're trying to get into this and study. You know what I mean? So
Well, yeah, I had already gotten there. So Subterfuge was sort of that was kind of for me the end of mashups and stuff like that because it had run its course, for mashups and I felt like more it's time to start playing LP versions, the regular version, and if you're gonna make a remix, make it out of the regular version. And I still do that today, but because mashups were from like '01 all the way up to 2011, 2010, really. So if you're, because some DJs made a life out of that, just playing
yeah,
nothing but mashups. They don't even play the regular song,
yeah,
and so it's okay to do it once in a while nowadays, and but it's better to do original versions or some kind of eclectic version. But like that whole rock stuff was so I was so awesome because back in early 2000s, you had to play Sublime and you had to play Cake and you had to play all these sort of alt versions, alternative groups and stuff like that to in your sets right alongside Exhibit and Dr. Dre and stuff like that because that was the vibe.
yeah,
It wasn't just straight hip hop or it wasn't just straight techno or anything like that. It was everything. So that was something that I wish could have brought that home. It probably was home, but I wasn't never home enough to do
yeah,
anything, and I
yeah,
wasn't trying to be either. And it
yeah,
wasn't an anger thing or anything. It was just like they're just not wanting to buy like that,
yeah. I can dig it, man. Like, fuck. Lost a lot of rap fans going rock and roll, bro. And it's like
Oh, you got not.
my podcast homies are my rap homies, and we can never sit there and fucking jam some Tool or some Typo Negative or anything and be like, yeah, it's always just me. And those guys are like, whatever, I'm not super into it. So
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure they missed out on the days of when I think I just did that just for old school days was at that place, the Whiskey Club. It
oh,
was
okay.
it. Yeah, I just did that where I mixed some, some 9 Inch Nails and some Tool and some stuff like that, and it was so seamless. And people were like, whoa, wait a minute, you just played Marilyn Manson. Now you're playing 9 Inch Nails, and it wasn't even the Animal song. It was I think I hand that feeds or something like that, or
We're
Starfucker or something like that. It's
hell yeah.
because all those groups use hip hop drums, so it made mixing rock so easy. It still does. It's easy to mix rock with stuff out there. Not today's rock. There isn't a lot of good rock out there that I want to throw down anymore. So
Working on it,
you know,
cuz working on it, man. You know what I mean?
oh, I'm hoping for a rock comeback from just rock in itself. Because I think it's time for rock to step up.
Yeah.
Times are these times like today need some guitar riffs and some wailing from a hard rock riff. And
Yeah.
from somebody young to like with anger and energy, that can, you know, displace everything. So that's what I'm hoping from rock, but we'll see.
Hell yeah.
You listen for it, but it's still just the same old shit for now.
Yeah, man. A lot of right clicking going on in rock and roll too, man. The there's this one band called Bad Flower. I think they're from LA. I kind of thought that kid
Mhm.
was cool. Like he had a song called Ghost that was about like attempting suicide. But when I listened
Yeah.
to that, and it was on the radio when I was in Phoenix, it was a tight song. But the album was cool, bro. out of 10 songs, there was like five that I legit liked and put in the playlist for Spotify. So, but
That's cool.
that was fucking like 2 years ago. I've been jamming Typo Negative lately, just because I feel like I could sing like that Peter Steele guy. So
Okay.
that's been my new favorite band. But yeah,
Yeah,
man.
people should just roll with whatever, whatever. I feel like if um like like the mixes I do, I don't try to put any. I think that's the thing I see about because I'm getting ready to delete all those mixes off that mix cloud just
Oh, don't
because it's like,
man. Oh
well,
man. Are they
because they're
downloadable? Are they downloadable?
no, I mean I always got them now. I'm not.
Okay.
It's not like the old days. But because they've run its course, and I remember telling my sister that, well, those quick mixes, that was just energy that needs to get released, and I don't want to put any effort into it. I just want to do something that says, "Hey, motherfuckers, I'm still around,"
Yeah.
And so when I did that Christmas thing. That's because somebody said you've never done a Christmas thing. And so the day of Christmas, I drop it. That's not when you want to drop a Christmas mix. You want to drop it way before, but I drop it there, and I didn't put any effort in. I just layered it in, and
Did you have the
boom, it was.
DMX song? Did you have the DMX song on there?
Of
All
course, that was an
right.
instant classic.
Hell yeah,
So
bro. Hell yeah.
you got to have
Man.
that. It became an instant classic. That's just that's the epitome of that dude. He was an instant classic, man. That's
Yeah.
There's not much more you could say about the dog, but you
Yeah.
know,
Fucking A,
X
man.
X X was an instant classic. I remember when Rough Riders came out, and I was in that teen club in Salem, and I remember having to yell "what" like X when the anthem came out, or mostly not Rough Riders anthem, but um, Jay Z's Jigga,
Oh yeah.
and mostly the Rough Riders actual record, their album.
Yeah.
That crowd was more into that as much as they were into DMX and Eve, which were the two that were popping. But yeah, that was crazy. That club was kind of crazy because how packed out it was for so long that it was, and those kids were just hyped on
Yeah.
Rough
Ye-
Riders anthem. So
Yeah, man. Fuck, dude. Those are good times. That's like when I was in high school going into college and shit. So it just
yeah.
I don't know. That shit. I try to like what's new, and it's just like I can't, man. Like it doesn't hit me in the feels. You know what I mean? So
Oh, I try to listen to more lyrics and try to, as far as the beats and stuff. But as far as this year, I think I'm just going to go a different route as far as start using my age as an excuse not to have every fucking thing,
yeah,
and just start
goddamn right,
liking,
bro. Yeah,
just start liking the shit that I like. And what I'm into right now isn't what's popping. It might not be. I even told a few friends I got some stuff that I've been working on, but I keep hearing more stuff, and so I'm compiling a whole folder full of stuff of that's it's more house and funk, and maybe some Afro beats and stuff like that, and just kind of working on that kind of vibe and just building up. So every time I get ready to make something, and then I go check some other stuff, and it's like, oh, I gotta listen to this for a while. So I've been at that for like 2 months, almost 3 months now of
word.
listening.
That's
This stuff is timeless. It doesn't matter that I've had this stuff to this long, because once I drop it out, it's gonna be like, what the fuck? Because some of this shit is remixes from '90s. They're '90s R&B remixes that are Afro beated out,
yeah.
and house stuff and old funk stuff. It's something that I'm working on. I just thought of, and then
Wh-
it's like, I've heard this style before. It's nothing new, but that's the kind of shit I'm kind of vibing with right now. So,
Man,
and
that's tight.
I do like the new stuff. I don't mind the mumble rap. I stop listening to mumble rap when it's all about the same shit. If I hear the
Yeah.
same shit, and I won't get every mumble rap song if it's the same tone.
Yeah.
So there was some good songs that came out, but for a while everybody was trying to sound like what's his name? He just passed away too. It's that Pop. What was his,
Pop
what's
Smoke.
that dude's name?
Pop Smoke.
Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to flow on his beats, his
Ah,
style of beats. And so I could see that, it's like, oh, I can't get this. It sounds nice. Your voice sounds nice, but don't
right.
try to rhyme on someone else's beat,
Right. Clicking that
or
guy's swag. Yeah. What?
yeah. So it was, you know, I at least try to make the effort to listen to some stuff, but a lot of these times, like when I did that teen dance, as far as home, they're just into uh riding around their car music because that's all they've done for a year.
Y-
So they
Yeah.
don't know they don't know dance club etiquette, you
Yeah.
know.
No shit. Yeah, I agree. But that's what I wanted to ask is so the stuff that you're working on, um, like how are you planning to release that? Like, are you gonna put that on just your mix cloud? Are you gonna
I haven't decided. I haven't decided
you
if
gonna do
I
some
just
artwork and just drop it as a mixtape? Because I think that would be sick too, man. Just do a website download link. Like, I think that shit
I
would
don't
be
even
fire.
know. I haven't even gotten to that. I probably just end up just, me. I just give away shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could put it on the mixed cloud and all that stuff, but part of me was thinking that I just let people download. I don't really care that
y-
people down
y-
whoever
Yeah.
what the download counts are. That's not my thing, but
Yeah.
because mostly because Dropbox doesn't tell you how many people download your shit.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. I don't know if they do that now, but I'm not going to pay for the extra to find out. That
Nah.
doesn't bother me.
Yeah, fuck the analytics, man. What about like gig wise? Is there any like have you heard of anything opening? Like
No,
I know you did something for the kids on our res like during the pandemic you did like a dance for them or something.
yeah, that was cool. I mean, it was
Yeah.
funny. Well, it's because for one, I don't know what they like, so I just went with the hits as far as today's music.
Yeah.
But it's like I think I told you before, they didn't start really dancing until I played like some Akon or some Usher and some stuff.
Yeah.
So some 2000s stuff, and a
That's tight.
little bit of 90s, and then I threw some actual remixes at them, some acapella stuff, and they were kind of bugged out a little bit, and to their credit, they did participate. So I should feel ashamed that these kids know the lyrics to "Ain't No Fun" from Snoop Dogg, but
Yeah.
these, you know,
Shout out to those
so
kids,
some,
man. Wildcats. Shout
so
out to those Lapway
so
Wildcats,
so
man.
these
Yeah.
these kids know the lyrics to "Ain't No Fun," and for the most part, it was a lot of girls singing those lyrics, and so
Ah,
it's
that's funny.
it's it's a little disturbing when it's your own res and these are these little girls, you know,
That's
you
funny.
know, saying the song even when she licked my balls, and I'm like, well, what the fuck here, my niece is out here singing this shit, so I'm like a little
Yeah.
bugged out, but
Yeah.
they did participate, and I did the old DJ trick where you pull the volume down and everybody hears themselves singing, and
Yeah.
for the first couple of times they were doing it, and then I did it one more time. They kind of got embarrassed. So I said, all right, let's put my hands up and
Yeah.
I won't mess with you guys no more. But I,
Yeah.
for the last half hour, they did get a little of the sub show, and it wasn't just mixing because I think Teresa said that I was their first DJ, which kind of bugs me out, because or I think because they were mostly using the aux cord, letting
Oh,
people come
damn.
up, and that's
Damn.
okay. People get to choose their stuff. But if you're, I was a little nervous because she told me that beforehand, and so I was like, oh man, I've been in that situation before where because I got kicked out of a gig for DJing, for being an actual DJ and mixing, and so like, okay, how are these kids going to respond to only hearing might hear one of their songs for a minute and then I flip out of it, or a sample of a song and they like the sample more than the song. So those things didn't happen. They were cool with things. They were out there vibing, doing their Snapchat or TikTok or whatever they were doing, and it all worked out. And they vibe to their stuff because some of the stuff I was playing was pretty good. So it was just when you got to the last half hour, and then it was like, it was all good. So the only thing I liked was playing the Usher Yeah remix, or not remix. I just shortened up Yeah and used acapellas, and so emphasized, because in the video you see a part where they're doing the A Town clap and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
so I used a lot of that stuff and made it sound a little hype. It was something I was trying to save for when the Ludacris concert, because it was still on a bubble of whether I was going to do that or not. And so I just said, well, fuck it. I'm never going to get to play this. So I just play this for this.
Hell
Whether
yeah.
they knew that or not is irrelevant. They just wanted to play it because
Yeah.
that was some hard work.
Eh,
And boom, they got something. And it worked out because they were hyped on it.
no
You
doubt.
know, so it was like, whoa, this sounds like this is some concert shit you're hearing. So it worked
Yeah.
out. They got the full blow.
That's cool, man. That's cool. What about
Hopefully they get the thing. I hope that they get that they,
my bad, my dogs.
I thought that was my dog,
No, Frankie's freaking out.
but I,
I
I
think
the thing I hope that they get is that that's how you're supposed to hear a club, is a DJ mixing, a DJ doing stuff,
yeah,
and that's it. You're supposed to get those things.
no doubt.
They were cool and they were active with each other, and I didn't have to do any talking to get them hyped up or anything like that. So that was kind of cool. So it all worked out.
That's
It was
cool,
good.
man.
It was a good solid gig, but nothing lately. I mean, it depends on the gig, because I've told you this before. I'm not interested in playing no 4 or 5 hour set, and
Yeah,
so like couple hours, 3 hour sets, and just trying to create my own vibe. And whether that happens or not is if it happens, awesome. If not, I'm not gonna stress it out. Not
yeah,
trying to hit gigs every weekend. Although it's fun, once you get in that rhythm, you start playing more and more, because you gotta, like, I'm one of those guys that does not like to play the same set. So you can play the same 20 or 25 songs every night because you have to, but you can always surround those songs with, you got about 70 to 90 songs that you're going to mix, even
yeah.
in a 3 hour set. So you can surround those 20 or 30 songs, 25 songs or whatever, with something different all the time. So
Yeah,
I'm that kind of guy. And so that's, you just get in that rhythm once you start working every weekend. So
no doubt. No
are you
doubt.
losing sound or something?
No, 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 we're good. We're good. I just we're at an hour right now, and I know your headphone or your telephone's gonna start losing battery. So I gotta ask this question. I asked this
No,
question. Okay, cool. We could keep on rocking, bro.
no, wait,
See. Okay, cool. There it is. There it is. Okay.
no, we're good.
Okay, so the I asked this question to everybody who comes on the show. I've only forgotten it a couple times, but I gotta ask you. It's a two-sided question. First side is uh, what do you feel has been your best move on the path to where you are right now?
um, moving, moving, and going to do what I wanted to do. So when I moved to I moved to Vancouver and then to Salem, and I just stayed there. That worked out because I got to play different music. It wasn't same sex, even though I did like the crowds. I love those crowds, but I just wanted to do more different styles. So that worked out for me that I got to do that. So that was probably the best thing that I did, was moving away from the same old.
I agree, man. Good
So
advice. Good advice. Good answer too, dude. Like shit. The other side of the question is, what do you feel has been your biggest mistake on the path to where you are right now?
uh, trying to force stuff down people when I got back, because that's what you were told. That's what you learn as you grew up in Lapway, is that you go away for a while and you whatever you learn, you bring it back and you share. And so that's what I was trying to do, but I was trying to push it too hard, too fast, trying to force stuff onto people. People weren't ready for Sublime mixed with G thing, even though it's dope everywhere else. If I did it now, they're into it, but everything was also growing up back home too. So they were going through their own change as it was. They were getting into Genovo and Katie Kane back then,
Yeah.
so it worked out that Sub was gone. So that and even
Hell
JT was
yeah.
doing his own thing elsewhere. So those things work out. But that was probably the only thing is forcing stuff, but I was always into that. Oh shit, you gotta hear that. Still give my I still give Aaron shit. Like, dude, you gotta hear this. I make him list stuff. He's got like mountains of USBs from me with mixes of my stuff or a mix I wanted him to hear, and he's never listened to them. He never listens to them. I know that he does. You
Damn
know,
it. Yeah. Holla at your boy, man.
so
Give,
if
give him
they're
the give him the cane. I'll
yeah,
jam it.
yeah, if there's a guy that you want to get stuff from, it's Aaron Gould, aka Balls.
Yeah. Next
If you're
next time
trying to
I
get
see him,
some mixes or
uh,
USBs, that's the dude. Because I just give him shit all the time. I'm
next time I
always hitting him up, "Hey, dude, listen to this, check this out," and he's like, whatever, He's always positive, you know. He's always positive about. He doesn't detour. He's always supportive, but
yeah, he's a
I
cool
know he
cat.
don't listen to shit, so it's all
Yeah,
good.
man. Next time I see him, I'll ask
Unless it
him.
was Coldplay. If it was a Coldplay, yeah, he's hella cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably the one thing that attitude also is bad for dance floors. I've cleared out a dance floor forcing new shit onto people,
Yeah.
and it's important that you do that still. I think, you know,
Yeah.
that you at least, you don't have to decimate the dance floor, but if they leave on a song that you're hyped up on, then
That's
give
okay.
it a chance.
Yeah. Let it run for a
Yeah,
couple
you
minutes,
can always
man.
bring them back. Yeah, you can always play Justin Bieber and they'll come right back. So it's
Yeah.
whatever.
Maybe
If
they were thirsty, had to grab a
unfortunate,
drink.
yeah. So the attitude is bad. So I still maintained it. So it's just that's it. You know,
No doubt.
be different. DIG is good. Different is good.
Yeah. That's a
Especially in music. Different is a solid. Yeah, I've always adopted that in '03, and I just kept it. DIG. You know,
yeah. That's a good slogan, man. You should do a mixtape series called that. DJ Sub, DIG.
well, I thought about that, thinking about this funk and this house stuff. Because
Yeah.
I am gonna push it on my friends and my classmates. I'm gonna push this stuff on because
Hell yeah,
a few
brother.
of these a few of these remixes they're gonna be bugged out on, and they're gonna be like, what? They're gonna. I know they're gonna get what because I just was listening to them again. I haven't listened to them for about 3 weeks, and then I just listened to some of these again. It's like, damn, it's just popping. And the dude that made this like 6 or 7 months ago. So this thing's been popping for a while, but like it's just not catching on. Probably because I think Afro and all those Caribbean beats, it's kind of faded a little bit. Uh, uh, but I don't know. We'll see what happens after when the summer hits. But it doesn't matter because I using funk. So you got funk and Afro and Caribbean vibes and those kind of things, and they're just remixed with '90s and old soul and stuff like that. So hopefully it all works out. Just got to put together and sit down and put some effort into it because anybody can make a mix, but it takes to get that awesome feeling. You have to put a little heart into it, pinch off
Yeah.
a piece of your soul, and then put that in there. So
Yeah.
that's but that's only for some mixes. I don't do that. I didn't do that for any of the the Mixcloud stuff,
Uh, y-
admittedly.
yeah. Well,
I,
those fast 10, 20 minute ones, I could hear it. You know what I mean? It would just like sound like practice.
yeah,
You know, I'm like,
nope,
okay.
that's exactly what they were. It was just
Yeah,
part of me feels bad for having these services and not using anything. Like shit, I put all this effort and I should do something. You know,
yeah.
I
If you
still
got
feel that way.
Hell yeah, dude, you got talent. If you got talent, then you should share it with the world, man. That's what I try to tell all my art homies. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like, man, if you're good at that, dude, like let people hear it. You know what I mean?
I know. I think I was telling you about what's her name, and she just had this crazy look. She asked me how long I've been a DJ. Was that girl, the new manager, what at Clearwater? She's the new. I don't know what she is. The entertainment director,
Oh, okay.
entertainment, or I'm not sure what she is. But she asked how long I was a DJ, and I said since 1988. And she goes, "Oh, she just had this look on her face of like, holy shit, you're fucking old."
Yeah.
And then she goes, and you're a sub, right? And I go, yeah. So you're a good DJ, and I just, play it all on. So yeah, I'm all right. I can hold my own. So
Yeah. Is
so
it Tawaya? Is that her name?
oh shoot, I want to say
I think
Rachel, but I don't think it's. I think that I can't remember her name. I'm sorry to her, but but yeah, I was trying to give her info and stuff like that because I always try to share
yeah.
all the shit that I know and learned and stuff like that. I always try to share with whoever, even if because but she was soaking it in because she sat there the entire time. But what she doesn't know is when I'm putting my equipment up and if, especially when I'm dealing with lights, I tend to ramble while I'm thinking of what I want these things to do. So I'm
Yeah.
just rambling on and just chirping off for about 30 or 40 minutes, and she's sitting there the whole time. So, I wasn't just spitting out bullshit. I was telling her facts, but I ramble when I'm sitting there thinking of other shit. So that's a bad habit I have. Of, at least I think it is. But
Oh man, hell
I
no,
don't
it's
know.
good. It's good for the podcast, bro. Shit. You know what I mean? Like it's dope, man. We got more than an hour already, so I'm like, yeah, boy. I recorded.
Well, like, yeah, whatever you want to talk, or if something that you're interested, I'm always, down for those things. Because I even tell you this, I'm thinking about redoing my best of both worlds set because that shit pisses me off. So
Oh
I
hell
should have
yeah.
used, I should
Oh
have used the remixes. Is what I think about now. Not just how I sequence that stuff, but I should have used the remixes on some
yeah.
of those because I'm shocked that I didn't use an X-Mix remix for Return to Mac, and I
Oh
used the regular. I used the UK version off the maxi single because it had more piano, and
ah,
so
like a solo and
and
shit in there.
yeah, and and so I had that playing in the background. That's 50 seconds too. I think that part is like 50 seconds
Yeah,
of like,
hell yeah.
but you get away with that stuff in the 90s. So
Yep.
yeah, that was yeah, that makes it doesn't bother me. I just rather do something different with it, and then give it out.
Yeah.
But all those songs are I don't care if people are giving me shit about Men in Black being on there.
Hell no,
So
bro.
Men in Black was only on there.
I bought that CD, bro.
Well,
Shit.
Men in Black.
It had a JD remix and shit with Snoop Dogg on there. There was a bunch of cool songs. There was like,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, and I was listening. I was like, shit. I thought the mix was over, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot about a couple of these being on there, and so I was like, I only put Men in Black on there because there's a Beatnut song called "Off the Not Off the Books," but that uses the same beat as
Oh,
Men in
okay.
Black,
Oh,
and it
okay.
was
Yeah.
a
Oh no, it's called "Give Me the Ass, Baby." If
yeah,
you
give me the
give me
ass,
the
yeah,
ass,
and
yeah.
I could not make it fit. I couldn't. It must be the wrong key because I bet if
Uh
I look at it, it was just a key that wasn't going to fit with those songs,
Well,
and
because
so it just would.
I think the Beat Nuts probably sampled it, and Will Smith probably had it replayed and
Oh
shit in the studio. You know what I
no,
mean?
it was just one of their side, not even a side B, a side E on
Yeah,
their maxi single. It was just at the bottom of the maxi single. And,
yeah.
and JT gave me that maxi single, thinking that I wouldn't like those songs,
Oh
but
shit.
I like Beatnuts,
No,
you
I
know.
did
So I
too,
was like,
bro.
hell yeah.
Well, because I would always
I
buy
was
their singles would always have the intros too, man. Like that was that off the
yeah.
books. That was one of the first instrumentals me and Deacon Jones ever rapped on because it
It,
we're like, bro, this
oh
shit is
man,
fucking cracking,
I
bro.
I I became fans of them when JT gave me that, and then I started getting some of the stuff. I remember he gave me some Cut Chemist stuff that he wasn't vibing to,
Word.
and I was like, "How do you not like these guys, man? You like the Beat Junkies, but you're not liking Cut Chemist. I mean, this is crazy." So I was like, "Oh yeah," and I play that stuff in my set every so often and stuff like that. So all that it had what's his name from Jurassic Park. Um,
Jeff Goldblum.
shoot. No, or Jurassic 5. Sorry.
Oh, okay. What's his name? Tuna? Cali.
Charlie Tuna.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cali Tuna. Yeah.
yeah, man. Shoot, that shit was hype, and I played it all the time, man. I was like, how do you not? Oh man, he passed on
Word, word.
that.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
So
great.
another one of my cookie cutter questions that I guess you could say you could answer because like a role model DJ if anybody's trying to get into that game, somebody they should study. What kind of ideas or concepts would you like to promote for the future?
Oh, shoot, I'm an over the hill guy, so it's just whatever I feel like, you know.
Where
But that same attitude should be the same as you started. You know, it should be whatever you feel like. You shouldn't feel obstructed or offended by anything. You should feel those things, but I'm ready to do, or I have been ready to do whatever I wanted to. So, and that should be the same for someone starting out. You know, if you only like techno music or dub, or you just into reggaeton, then do those things.
yeah,
You know, and go full all in. You know, don't give a fuck. Just do it. You know,
yeah.
don't hesitate. Because I think when people hesitate, that's when people sense that you could be whack.
Ah,
You know, because you got to get over with the crowd first. You know, and once you get over with the crowd, they'll dig your vibes. They'll dig your ups and downs. You know, so that's what I remember most about coming up at Joker's and the warehouse and places like that was because I was going through those ups and downs too of picking out remixes, picking out songs and stuff like that. And so, but I didn't hesitate. I remember not hesitating playing some stuff that wasn't on because what was the song? I like this song by Junkyard. I can't remember what it was. It was a funk song, but I liked it. And
hmm,
some of the old cats knew that song and they were into it. So I got over with them at an after party. And so, but if you play that now, people are like, how the hell did you make that work? I was like, at the time, I thought it was funky, you know?
yeah.
So it sounded like he used the butt. And so I
Word.
used to mix those songs. It was on a funky mix remix. I can't remember the name, but you got to go full all in. You got just got to win, and then that helps you win your crowd because they know you're trying to do something.
Yeah.
At least that's what I think. You know,
No,
so
no doubt, man. Yeah, effort fucking counts, man. And different is good.
yeah,
Um,
you got to commit. You just got
yeah,
to know what you're doing and commit to it,
no
and
doubt.
just and don't be scared. It's hard because you're up there and you're all alone and you're doing your thing and you're trying to do your thing. You're trying not to fuck up the thing you practice all week, and
Yeah,
then you might fuck it up because if a DJ doesn't know everything that you hear, they hear.
yeah,
So if you hear a fuck up, they heard that fuck up too. Doesn't
yeah,
matter if you think, oh, they didn't hear that. Yes, they did. Somebody in the back heard that,
yeah.
you know. So
I
it's those
remember.
little things you got to be aware.
Yeah, going out like going out to spots with you or RPM too. That you guys would both be like, "Ah, fuck, he fucked up right there." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean? But it was cool to hear the nitpickiness from other DJs too. Like, that's it's honest.
I Yeah, I used to try not to do that unless they were so bad that like,
Yeah,
what the fuck, dude? I'm not even, because somebody knows you're a DJ. That used to happen to me way back in the day with, oh, what do you think about, or you should get up there. It's like, no, I'm trying to enjoy my time here because
eh,
I'm usually up there all alone and you guys are having fun. I don't get to have that fun,
yeah,
because I wasn't one of those DJs that drink during the set. I still not, but I might have one now because I'm old enough to do that. So
yeah. Hell yeah. No shit, man. Yeah, take it easy. It's okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're like at an hour and 20 minutes right now.
when
I feel like we should wrap soon, dude. I feel like you're getting
okay,
tired. Um
no, I'm
how
good.
how, how can folks follow you on social media, dude? Like, are you on
I
it's Mixcloud,
uh
yeah? Is it do they have to
I
search
think
a
it's
certain
mixed. I think it's Mixcloud at DJ Sub
and is it
underscore. Yeah, I had to use the underscore.
yeah, because I
Uh,
remember it took me a second to find it the first time because there was a couple other
yeah.
DJ subs.
Oh, I think there's like, fuck, I don't know how many DJs. Oh, I messed that up. I remember telling you about that when I fucked that up and not copyrighting my name. Because
Yeah.
for at least a good 10 or 12 years, I was the only DJ sub in the world,
Damn.
and then about 2000, then some cat from Miami showed up, and then a cat from the UK, and then a cat from Russia,
Yeah.
because that's when Mortal Kombat was out. So it was Sub Zero, but I wasn't Sub Zero. I was just Sub,
Yeah.
So I should have copyrighted that name. That
y-
kills me.
Yeah. No doubt. Okay,
Uh,
so besides Mixcloud, how can you are you on IG and Facebook? Are you
yeah,
Twitter guy
no,
too?
just mostly Mixcloud and IG. That's how you can, get a hold of me. And those are, I think, DJ Sub underscore. On I think on Instagram. That is the calling card. And then I don't know about Mixcloud. I should know these things, but it's on your phone. It's an app. You just
Yeah.
click onto it. So
Yeah.
um, it might be original subliminal. I used to do that.
Okay.
Shout out to Lover.
Word.
That's what East called me. Never called me sub. It's always original subliminal and do some crazy thing or something like that. But yeah, so I use that a lot. That's my on my Twitter, original subliminal. On Twitter, but mostly because you have to, because somebody's got DJ sub. Like
Yeah.
that's the only reason why my Facebook is DJ sub. It doesn't say Sam Green. It
Word.
says DJ sub because I had to keep that name, and if I change it, then I lose it.
Yeah.
So not trying to lose that stuff. So
Yeah, man.
uh,
It
that
is.
sucks.
That's why I try to
Yeah.
encourage you to put out more shit too, dude, because it's DJs put out albums and all kinds of shit. And I'm like, man,
Well,
like,
no, Steve. I came from the day where you only put out two or three a year.
word.
DJs are it was only until 2000s then these assholes start doing it every week, every
Yeah.
other day, or stuff
Coast
like that.
coast to coast mixtapes. Yeah, yeah.
No, I liked a lot of those when I would check them out, because I, I knew about East Coast mixing, and so it didn't bother me that they were just smashed together or stuff like that. They weren't West Coast style and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, and I dug some of that stuff, because I think I used to listen to a lot of. I used to get my mixes back in the day from Beat Street Records in New York. So that was the place that I got my stuff. So that's where I heard Ron G and Kid Capri and stuff like that. So that's it did bother me with Coast to Coast, but there was still a lot of good mixes.
Yeah.
I
No,
never got to do one of my own. I always wanted to do like not get a whole album from all you cats from back in the day, but just I still wanted to get verses.
oh
And
yeah,
I
dude.
always want Yeah, I
man,
always wanted to get like a verse from DeNovo or Deacon or something like that, and just slide it in, and people, and that's how people are listening to your shit. It's like, oh, you didn't hear that verse? Obviously, you didn't hear that dope ass verse in the middle of
yeah,
that set. That was Katie Kane and SWV. That was an SWV and DMX. That was Katie
yeah,
Kane in the,
hell
something
yeah,
like that. That was some slick shit.
yeah.
But
I'm gonna do
those
that.
things can always still happen.
Yeah,
That shit can always happen.
I'm gonna do
You
that.
know.
I'm gonna bug RPM for some of those old acapellas, man. Give me 5 of them, man. Hell yeah. So what else do you got on the horizon, man? Like are you open to bookings and shit like that? Like
Yeah, yeah, I'm still trying to, it's gonna be hard to get, people willing to pay you your rate, and then pay that rate that they normally pay for someone that's gonna do a 4 or 5 hour set for a 3 hour maximum,
yeah.
and so, but shit. And then I'm trying to change to from well, I only had to do controller lately because when I fixed my turntables, the pitch slide is too loose. So it's a vanity thing. I can't have my pitch slide be too fucks
No
up my
doubt.
shit, fucks up my mental. So
Yeah.
I've been
I
on
mean,
that, but I'm switching to some new stuff, and so it's something that people have no idea, nor do they give a shit, but DJs give a shit. So I'm switching to those, and hopefully I do some stuff. Get things are whether because Oregon's all fucked up over here because they're closing down again.
yeah.
uh it's lame, it's lame as
Yeah,
fuck.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, people, I just talking to people, they're all pissed off about it. It's like, it's nothing, it's really over some nothing bullshit. But yeah, hopefully I always got the forever invite with that whiskey club. I probably will do stuff there. That'll be on my own dime, but I try to create a vibe. I still want to do that in Portland. Be a nobody, build up a something. Even some quiet shit. If there's a few hundred people in Portland that know me and they come out to my shit, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Just on that kind of shit. So, but those things can still work out. As long
Y-
as old ass Jazzy Jeff is out there, then I'll stay out there too. So.
No doubt. Yeah. That's tight. Cause it is, man. Like I'm a huge fan, DJ Sub, and I try to
I'm a fan of Katie Kane,
a
man. I got
word.
Katie Kane's album in my collection, man.
No
It's
doubt.
in caps. It's in
Yeah.
all caps in my shit. So
No doubt. Thanks, man. Thanks. I
I
appreciate it.
I I even know where your CD is in one of my it's in my vinyl. I didn't even put it in with CDs. I threw it in with a vinyl. It's
Tight.
in an actual pretty safe place right now. So
Tight.
yeah.
Hell yeah,
You
man.
know who's whose shit I never got? I never got a mix, or I never got to download anything. Was Denovo, man. I
Uh,
heard some of this stuff. I was like, how the fuck do I get that shit, man? But
I'm
I
gonna
know
call him.
I gotta harass him. I'm gonna
Yeah.
harass him. I'll
Yeah.
be like,
Call him,
I gotta
man.
harass that dude.
Well, because I
You
think
know.
also he could I think he could help with bookings too, dude. Like he's pretty plugged in. He was working with that
Oh,
magician dude and Zap from Zap and Rogers. So I
he's
feel like he could
doing
plug you in a couple spots, I think, man.
he's doing cool shit with with the natives in Vegas. At least I
Yeah,
see that.
it is,
That's some
man.
cool shit. Keeping
Sober
that shit up.
junkie. Sober
I'm like,
he got me sober junkie for my podcast. That's the episode after you. I recorded it last week.
yeah, he's doing some cool shit. I was like, damn, man, he's like, fuck, man, I got to do some cool shit like that. But
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be busy. His boy's gonna be playing baseball. He's all that baseball stuff. So,
Yeah.
because he's a good dad, so it's all good. So
Yeah. No
I don't
doubt.
know. I still got to harass just to listen to that stuff. You know, because I get to listen to all of his stuff. I don't think I ever was able to get a whole thing here and there because I just get like a verse and stuff like that. And
Yeah. I think he did like a couple
tragically, I lost.
I think he did a couple mixtapes and an album. like a full length, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll bug
Uh,
him. I'll say, hey man, send a copy out there to Rufus. You know what I mean?
that's shit, man. He'd probably have to look for him because I know where the couple of I think I don't it wasn't on a Young Buck thing. I think it was a not it was during that period, but it was somebody else, and it was just a birth. It wasn't anything super serious, but
Word.
I was just like, oh, I finally got something. I finally got something,
Yeah,
just to
no
have
doubt.
something in the collection in case
Yeah,
somebody from home harasses me for somebody, saying, "Yo, you supported them," I got this shit, you
yeah,
know.
hell yeah.
So
Oh,
that's all about.
okay, man. So that's hour and a half right there. DJ Sub, is
There you
there
go.
any closing statements before I do my outro?
Uh, no, I can't think of nothing.
Yeah,
This is yeah, man. I'm happy. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm happy
dude.
we got to do this.
Me too, bro.
I
I've
am.
been, yeah,
I I
I'm
think
happy
it's
too.
pretty cool.
Yeah, man. And thank you for taking the
It probably,
time too.
it, I yeah, man. I hope it doesn't suck. We're just kind of rambling on, but shit, I like talking with you, so I don't care. I
Yeah,
talk with you for hours. You know that.
yeah,
So
same, man,
yeah, man.
same. That's why I was like, man, we gotta do this on the podcast because it is, man. I
I know. I tell you some good stories and shit, and you're like, I could tell. Fuck, I should be recording this shit. So, but
yeah, yeah, man. So thanks
yeah,
for taking the time, man. And I'm sure that anybody who's a fan of you, and there's a lot of us out there that I think they'll take the time to listen to the episode. And anybody who's a DJ too coming up, I think they'd check it out and
yeah,
see what's
man.
up, man. You know what I mean? And anybody from my rest, it's like even if you haven't heard of it, check out the podcast, man. Dude's tight. And then check out the Mix Cloud. Dude's tight. You know what I mean?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I
Yeah.
do all right out there.
No doubt. No
I,
doubt.
yeah. Well, as a good friend of mine and a family member said, his mixtapes are all right, but he sounds better live.
Yes.
So don't make your total opinion of that dude off of his mixes.
I agree.
He sounds better live.
Yeah, man. I agree.
So
Same. I
you
can
know.
say the same shit, man. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Same. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good spot to wrap right there, ladies and
There you
gentlemen.
go.
This was the 97th episode of Concerned Dads Podcast. I was your host, Katie M. Kane, our guest, DJ Sub, ladies and gentlemen. He's a legend. He's classic. Tighter live than on his mixes, but the mixes are still dope. Please check out his Mix Cloud.
Yeah.
Maybe Subliminal Original, possibly, or DJ Sub underscore. To try and find it. It's tight. Also on IG, DJ Sub, Facebook, DJ Sub. I also got to give a shout out to my guys in production, Mitchell Wilson and Jesse Curry. This has been a Main Node and Joseph Street Enterprise production.